Brothers and sisters, generals, family, welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion here on the EBX and Lord Lamont show. And again, salute to Lord Lamont, one's family and children, and those that's just doing what we supposed to do and not doing what we think we should do, sticking to that purpose of life. And that can be in a small space or big space. And always give a salute and honor to the current subscriber, new subscriber, anybody that view me and Lord Lamont. We thank you for supporting us, and because there are many great content creators out there. Salute to the righteous generals who have that authentic creation in their spirit and sharing it to the world, because acknowledge the lights out there within our families, brothers and sisters in the world and online. And it's wonderful to do that, because we keep that realm strong, as I've quoted in the past. Take that spiritual realm serious. You keep living in this life, as I quote from my grandmother, may she rest in peace and empire. Keep living, buddy, and we'll find out the things we put out. But let's make it beautiful things, informal things that can impact us for life to come. And we meet some good brothers along this path, but today we're gonna speak on our sisters, and inner beauty can last a lifetime, brothers and sisters. And how do we know this? From the examples of our ancestors, brothers and sisters, but speaking on the sisters, the warriors that have guided, has helped and guided a lot of sisters into the position they're in. Those who are aware and know the history, that sisters are the true goddesses and can be, and come into, because there's been a lot of black feminine warriors. And I'm not talking about feminist movement and none of that shit. I'm just talking about a sister that knows her femininity and knows how to balance it and not to use it against, things to get things, but know that they're a goddess within, and become an unbreakable goddess, my sisters. Inner beauty can last a lifetime. And I'm going to get into how that's real and how one knows this. And many great brothers out there who are educated. Salute to my brothers who are educated about the female, as educated as we can be. We're always learning something on this journey, but if we are somewhat knowledgeable about the female and sisters in particular, be thankful and keep learning, keep going, because it just makes us that much more better in friendship with our sisters, friendship relationships or romantic. It's always good to really, really study. Human nature, real talk. Ourselves though, for ourselves, to make sure we right. Because as I reiterate, as I told Lord Lamont, once we know ourselves and kind of can be aware of our own behaviors, then we won't be blinded in our own selves. Then we can see into other people's behavior and learn how to strategically approach different situations with awareness, not paranoia, and it's beautiful to get to that point. But it's, as I like to say, the mind, it can be a fickle thing, but that's why we learn, anticipation and pause and step back from things and play out scenarios. As I love to say, scenarios can save our life, literally, sometimes, if we just think about things. And I said this to a employee I work with, and we were talking about how, we're both single, and it can be challenging sometimes, but I told him, when we get into those moments when we think it's challenging, play out scenarios. It bring our ass back to reality. But at the same time, open, receptive to things that may come, because as most brothers who do have integrity that are single, we love to date, but as we know, we in this modern world, just got to be careful. But ain't gonna get too far into that, because I'm gonna keep it positive. But there are realities out here, so once we can know that, we won't miss much. We'll see much, but won't miss much. A place of awareness. Awareness is the best education all day long. And that's how sisters of the past, maybe in our families, I'm talking about strong sisters that know their femininity, know how to balance it and not too masculine. Because no man want no masculine woman. The feminine is what attracts us to the sister, and the beauty within, that inner beauty, it can last a lifetime, well up into golden age. It's just, it's something you experience that no makeup can show, no, no, nothing on the outside. Inner beauty is the best. And many brothers who are educated about the female, we've experienced this. And it's not about attraction of the physical, the inner beauty. I've touched on this before. When you can tap into that inner beauty, it's beautiful, and again, it can last a lifetime, my sisters. And that's what this is a depiction of on the banner and or thumbnail. Because as many great brothers who are philosophers, again, who have true integrity and know what it is, even those of us that may have been in toxic relationships, we still understand. Now that's a strong warrior brother right there, that can go through toxic relationships but still have love and still understand. Not naive, just more aware, and that way we can come across sisters who do want to heal and is healed. Because again, we got brothers in the same boat, but I'm speaking on sisters right now. So that's why I got this on the banner. And I actually got it from a sister that sent me a friend request. Like I said, I've been connecting with some real true sisters on Facebook here lately. I mean, they like, and they're beyond. A lot of them are not into religion. They're like really going deep into African and Black culture and spirituality. And so that's where I got this picture from, and I thought it was dope. So, and what I have on this banner is what I see in sisters, but a lot of them don't see it in themselves. A lot of sisters, not the righteous ones now. I'm not talking about the righteous ones, but I'm talking about, younger or older. I'm talking about those who are old enough to be aware of themselves and they're healthy, mind, body. And so this is what I see in the mirror, in every sister. It don't matter what color, size, none of that. The inner beauty, sisters, that's what I'm talking about. And instead of spending time in the mirror taking selfies, some sisters need to take time and look in the mirror and see who they really are, and see if they can, because it's a God that's in there. It's just a matter of tapping into it, because the inner beauty, again, it can last a lifetime. But that physical crap, that's fake, false stuff, when you get older, what is that stuff going to mean? Booty pop. I mean, I'm not saying don't have fun and enjoy your, what the great divine has given, has given some sisters a, beautiful body and beautiful looks, but gotta appreciate it, because everyone gets old. That we all can agree on that. We all gonna get old one day. So that's why one should preserve themselves. Brothers too, but speaking on sisters, because when we come into our golden years, that's when it'll matter. So we have fun, enjoy the youth, sisters, but keep that future in your mind. That's what keeps us looking young at heart, when we stay connected to divine things and Mama Nature, because we all were created from Mama Nature. And guess what? We all go back to Mama Nature. So ponder that. So you are of nature, my sisters. You create life. A whole life comes out of you. Everything on this planet developed and came from a sister. Remember, a melanated man and a melanated sister, all colors can come out of us. Light, dark, dark, brown, beige, caramel, light, maybe a little darker light, all kinds. And that's not an accident, folks. That's not a coincidence. Not putting other cultures down, but that it just is. All colors come from us. So ponder that. And I'm saying that to say, that's how powerful you are, my sisters. If you only knew, these sisters only knew, they tapped into that divine inner beauty, man, and be the goddesses that great divine wants them to be. Again, a lot of educated brothers out here, we know the deal, but we want our sisters to know that deal and get to a point where you are an unbreakable goddess. Because a goddess, again, is not this floating on this cloud, this easy thing. It's also firm and strong, but also with integrity and love. Because again, the feminine part of a woman is what a man connects to, a real man of integrity. That's what we're attracted to, because as I've said in the past, I reiterate, you can have a sister that's gorgeous, drop alive gorgeous, the most beautiful thing on the planet, but got the ugliest heart, and that'll just destroy all that, And when you're ugly within and you don't change over time, guess what? It catches up with you in your golden years. And I'm telling you, but when we don't do that, pay attention, and read up on things, connect with other sisters, my sisters, connect with other sisters that know what it is to preserve their beauty and their body and their temple, We can, man, I'm telling you, and still have fun. It's not about being a perfect person and being this holier than thou and perfect and can't do nothing wrong. No, still have fun and enjoy one's life. But it doesn't have to be a toxic way. And I think it's more cleanseful. I think a sister would feel better if they tapped into their natural beauty, because they're naturally beautiful anyway. It's just, again, it's like things out here, sways and ways of the world and ads and commercials. Some of these sisters, they think they see things that it shows sisters what the world shows sisters what they think beauty should be. And no, they got to look within themselves, look in the mirror, not in no phone, not in no ad, not at what we see on Instagram. Look within yourself, which we will hear most philosophers say. It's always going to come back to how one feels deep in that core. Now, when one is wearing, now I will say some sisters, they do look beautiful with the eyelashes and all that stuff, but it's a little much, and it's just a little much. And it's like, now some sisters may not have insecurities that do get, false nails and fake hair and all that. Some sisters just like to do that, but then you got some that are insecure. But can you go without it? That's how I say, give yourself a test run. Those who like to do that, give yourself a test run just to see how it feel. Like, pick a week, like, you know what, I'm not going to do any false hair, any nails, because you have to give your mind time to think. Solitude always helps. My son, Lord Lamont, and we speak on that a lot, because when you get in solitude, that's when you can think about things and look in the mirror if need be, Put the phone down and really get into that core and get into some deep thoughts and tap into that unbreakable goddess, my sisters. I'll say give it a trial run. See how it is to be natural, I'm telling you. And my advice, I'm not an expert on dating, but some advice I would give, if sisters who may be having challenges with dating, I would say try to go natural, be your natural self. Don't expect nothing, and just be your authentic self when you go out on a date. And, of course, if it's, a brother or a man, that if because if you're clean within, your conscience is clear, you will pick up on things with men, just my opinion, same thing vice versa. If a brother is got a clean conscience and not have no toxic expectations, then we can see into the behavior of others. So that's what we got to get to, my sisters. That's the reason we keep a clean conscience, and not be on nothing toxic, because you're blinded within yourself. Then you won't be able to see your discernment. You won't be paying attention to your discernment and to the other individual. So if a sister would just try to be themselves, don't wear any makeup, be themselves when they go on these dates, and then you will find yourself, and not expecting things and all that stuff. And men with integrity will gravitate towards you if you try to go natural someday. Just give it a try, and don't put on that facade and just go off your physical, because inner beauty is very powerful. It really is, because as many brothers have, and I've met so many sisters, even ones that wasn't that attractive, but had the most beautiful spirit. Them the ones we remember, and them the ones we gravitate toward, because you might see a brother maybe with a sisters that, maybe not be so attractive, but you get to know them and be like, oh man, I see why he with her. Man, she was beautiful. She is so cool. And I've met so many sisters like that. And I have to say, the most challenging relationships I've had, most of the time, it's been with sisters that, well, maybe not aware of their behavior, but a lot of them, I'll say the most pretty ones, sometimes, not all the time. Most of the time, the ones that, the pretty girls, quotation marks, be the ones with the most issues, sometimes, in different cases. But I have met sisters that were attractive and that were cool, so. But again, that's why we have to pay attention to our core so we can make sure we straight, so our discernment can be on fire, so we can pick up on things like that. And that's for my sisters, brothers too, but of course, this is for my sisters. So my sister, what I got on my banner here is this what isn't this what you want to see in the mirror? And this could be for all sisters, or younger or older. It's just a depiction. It's just an example of an unbreakable goddess, and she has a youthful look on the banner. I did that on purpose because you can be young at heart. You can be youthful within, not immature though. But when we're just young at heart and we're flowing naturally, we age gracefully. They say black don't crack, but we have to do things to make sure our black don't crack. Rest, eating right. It's go for me too. And paying attention to little things, because our body speaks to us. Listen to our body when it speaks to us as far as health, of course, mental health, spiritual health, all aspects of our life that keep us strong and firm. Man, learn as much as we can, not knowing everything, but knowing enough to maintain. Because who wants to come into their graceful years miserable and been and argue with everybody and it burnt all kind of bridges? Danger, danger, danger. So that's the reason we stay positive and get to know our core. It's for the health, the mental health, physical, and spiritual. One can't work without the other. It's impossible. So that's my message and, my advice to the queens out there, to the goddesses. Some of them, a lot of them just don't know that they're goddesses. But, be thankful there's warriors out there, sisters and brothers that will help guide, younger or older, our young sisters and maybe our older sisters that maybe haven't found themselves yet. Sometimes it can be circumstantial, and again, the conditioning that all melanated, if not all, if most or not all melanated brothers and sisters, as I say all the time, have been under some kind of conditioning. So that's where we start. Things we do, and sometimes in this, especially, you got some sisters that may not even like themselves, but portray they got a great life on social media. That's something you got to watch out too. That false sense of reality crap, it'll catch up with you. So I just want the best for our sisters, because I got daughters, so I will always give enlightenment and never, like I said, I've had not so good relationships and all that, but they're no longer regrets. As we get a little wiser, maybe a little older, a little more aware, there are lessons, and we learn from them, and we share our experiences to others, and carry that torch on to our sisters, and create and generate unbreakable goddesses, because that's what you are, my sister. When I'm telling you, because when it get down to it, when we break it down, a black woman is strong. They have endured a lot of things, so that's how I know they can be an unbreakable goddess. And when they tap into that inner beauty, that divine beauty, it can last a lifetime. And I'm gonna give an example of that. A sister from the Tulsa Race Massacre I spoke on before, but she's gonna be the focal point of inner beauty, can last a lifetime, because it's not all about physical. If we don't know about the physical can decay, we don't know by now, we'll never know. So it's okay to love. We love ourselves, and ain't nothing wrong with that, but not to an arrogant point or a conceited point, and we're only living off our physical, because that's danger. Inner beauty within always win. Thank you, Lauryn Hill. How you gonna win if you ain't right within? That's facts. So, my sisters, please tap into your inner beauty, because that's what a brother really is attracted to. And I'll even quote Charleston White. That's what make a man get right. A woman, a strong sister, man, of integrity and know how to balance their femininity, man, it builds a man up. It makes a man want to do better. We see better, we do better, we feel better, we act better, as well as having righteous thoughts. We think right, we act right. I say that a lot. We do right, see right, and I'm telling you, a woman, a sister that like really loves her man and got his back, and no venom or anything like that, man, make a brother conquer the world, literally, and turn us into a king. An unbreakable goddess turns a brother into an unbreakable god, and that's real, because a lot of us men, when we know we got a sister that love us unconditionally, and there's no vindictiveness or just nothing, and just pure telling you, it make us want to conquer the world, sister. So, but respect overall, that's the best commodity. Respect is more important than money, materialistic things, sex. None of that shit mean nothing without respect, So respect is the core base of spirituality. Real talk. You gotta have respect for oneself and others, So, and we know how to deal with the toxic person, place, thing. We know how to deal with that. Our discernment will let us know, but we have to be in the place of awareness and not being fake sisters, and be the unbreakable goddesses you are. You started this world, These little petty things that this world has some of our sisters doing is beneath you, You create life. Think about that. You are almost next to God, You create life. Think of yourself like that as a God, not in an arrogant way though. But the little petty things and booty dropping, and it's okay to dance and stuff like that, because our African sisters used to dance, but it was a dance of honor and respect. It was a divine thing, So that's what my sisters got to get back to. Not dancing for a lust, but dancing because of the inner beauty of what that great divine has made. Because as I like to say, great divine took its time with sisters, because sisters can be beautiful. And I'm not talking about physical, but it's beautiful when it comes from that inner and it radiates on the outside. That just make it that much more beautiful, and become an unbreakable goddess where you won't let shit interfere with your psyche, and maintain that beauty and preserve oneself. And don't forget to have fun and joy, but not have joy, but not to get validation and all on social media, You could take a break away from it, walk through nature, become one with Mama Nature, get into your feminine atmosphere, and really know the beauty one carries within, my sister, because I see it, I see it in sisters all the time, and again, even in those that don't see it in themselves, I just thank that great divine for, me and many other brothers that even through the toxic things of life, sometimes we still persevere and see that beauty in our sisters. So salute to the brothers who didn't let bitter get to them, because a heart, some of us have had our heart broken, as well as sisters, they have too, but be thankful for those who are locked in, whether they're friends or romantic or marriage, those who have stayed with it, and not a statistic, because that's what I don't want for my sisters. I don't want my sisters to be a statistic. It's time to change this damn narrative, again, and become the unbreakable goddesses that you are, my sisters. All right, so I want to get to a hip hop break, and I want to speak on a sister that come from Black Wall Street. I spoke on her before, but again, she's going to be our focal point of how inner beauty can last a lifetime, man, a spiritual power. And then when one transition, your soul still be among the people. That's powerful. That's why it's important. I mean, again, we enjoy ourselves, have fun. We don't be serious and stern all the time. But what are we going to leave behind? What legacy? What impact? What do we do while we was here on this planet? Because when we're not here, that's what will matter. So we've done a bunch of insignificant things and stumped on people and hustling and all that stuff. Is that the kind of legacy we want to leave behind? I know I don't. Not that one's perfect, but at least leave the world better than it was when we came in at some point, because my theory is great divine gives us that grace period, like when we're young and we're messing up and fumbling and making mistakes. Because when you're young, sometimes we don't know no better. Great divine knows this. Remember, great divine and Mama Nature is infinity, has known us before we was even born, know what we was gonna do before the years came. And that's my theory though. But when we do become aware, if we're healthy and no circumstantial things, and we can control ourselves, I always got to put emphasis on that, and we're healthy, mind, body, and soul, then great divine and Mama Nature will begin to start holding us accountable, but in steps, It just depends on the individual, because again, everyone's journey is different. So when we get to a place when we are aware, of what we're doing, then okay, then we can't be crying about wrong things that come down the road, because what we do in the present, brothers and sisters, I say that a lot. So but Great Divine want us to enjoy ourselves too. Don't want us stern and just be aware, and don't hurt people along the way, and love yourself. Great Divine Mama Nature wants us to love ourselves. It wants us to do that for a reason, because of the vibration. A lot of people, again, there are a lot of people that are awakened out here. So our discernment is on fire. So the fake, false people out there, they might as well get on board and be as righteous as possible. At least in the physical, be morally, then the deep spiritual may come, because everybody has to go through a filtering process, a transformation in oneself, especially if you've been under some kind of conditioning, some worse than others. But there's too much information out here. Got a lot of warriors that have been through fires, and that's brother and sister. But of course, we're speaking on sisters. So just look at this banner. Any sister that come along this podcast, this EBX and Lord Lamont show, and this is you. Your inner beauty. That's what this is. And you see how intense she look in her face. She know who she is. And there's a lot of sisters out here like that. Younger and older, that know who they are. I've connected with many. So that energy is out there. That unbreakable goddess energy is in the air too. So be thankful for the sisters that do know their true femininity. And know how to balance it, because it's beautiful when a sister does. Know their true selves. It's man, that's the real beauty, real talk. That's the most beautiful thing in the world. So all right, so I'm gonna get to this hip hop break, then I'm gonna come back and again speak on this sister that was a survivor of Black Wall Street, and she just transitioned a few weeks ago. And I said her age. I'm gonna say it when I come back. I got 2 songs, one by L'Oreal Lyrical, rest in peace and empower, and another one she's on with is her. Let me see what the other girl name was. I played this song before. It's called Phenomenal Chick. And they talking, and they do go in a little bit. And it's Sam K and Angela Jackson, aka Shiree. She sings the hook. Again, song we did, Stop the Violence, had L'Oreal Lyrical, rest in peace and empower. 4 verses, myself and Angela Jackson sang on that song, Stop the Violence. And I'm gonna play that song on probably a podcast my son and I do. Next time me and him speak on hip hop, I think I'm gonna play that. But right now, we're gonna play Be a Lady by L'Oreal Lyrical. May she rest in peace and empower. And she definitely was phenomenal. That's how our sisters gotta be. Phenomenal. Not no bad bitch. What is a bad bitch, really? And that's what they say in that song. But I'm gonna play that on the second song. But the first one is Be a Lady. And as I said, they said in that song, they above being a bad B. Phenomenal chick mean they know themselves inside and out. That's a phenomenal sister, real talk. But the name of that song is Phenomenal Chick. But the first one is Be a Lady. And be back after this. L'Oreal Lyrical, rest in peace and empire.
Yeah. By my mind, just shoes make me a beat. Communications are minimal. I rarely speak in cell phones. I peek insecure a little bit. Try hard to dismiss little shit from exes. Yet I'm human, and here I am, your lady. Dark brown, natural crown, highly educated. And serving God and making ways for a family. Maybe not today, but one day if you a baby. On my diddy bop, so I'm opinionated. If you need to hold something, I'm calculating. Why you take my cash, running to the strip club? A man to rather lust than to work and build trust. Ain't got the nerve to tell me that I don't understand. When the truth is my generation's full of weak men. Staying at home while the kids is at daycare. Only giving up dick to keep his place there. I'm your lady, tell me can you provide? Step up to the plate, all in, just thrive. Hey, I'm your lady, can you even protect me? Girl, I'm having money, but can you keep a family? I'm your lady, tell me can you provide? Step up to the plate, all in, just thrive. Hey, I'm your lady, can you even protect me? Girl, I'm having money, but can you keep a family? Cry on the second verse, I know it hurts. I done did it all to show this man my worth. I could give him the word and he be like a spaceman. Where my man with ambition and self-sufficient. Is you listening? I'm wishing you may get it together. Signed your lady forever. No, I'm not bitter, simply painting you this lyrical picture. Can you see it? Fatherless children. Opposition is weak. You can't stand on your own 2 feet. Presenting the problem, that man becoming the father. Raising the son with no more, repeating the path. Time to get it together, changing your family for better. I'm seeking pleasure from these women who don't know no better. They tell me that I don't understand. When the truth is my generation's full of weak men. Staying at home while the kids is at daycare. Only giving up dick to keep his place there. I'm your lady, tell me can you provide? Step up to the plate, all in, just thrive. Hey, I'm your lady, can you even protect me? Girl, I'm having money, but can you keep a family? I'm your lady, tell me can you provide? Step up to the plate, all in, just thrive. Hey, I'm your lady, can you even protect me? Girl, I'm having money, but can you keep a family?
Real talk. Get them, cuz. Rest in peace and in power. She like, yeah, you hearing this. She tell my girl, I got money, but can you keep a family? Real talk. Can you keep a family together? Do you have integrity? That's right. L'Oreal Lyrical. She knew herself. As I said, she was definitely phenomenal, and she was very intelligent. I said every time I bring her up, I tell her how smart she was on these computers. And she was smart before social media even really got going. She was already like, she was advancing fast. I mean, these ads and all this stuff, she definitely, she could have been like a CEO of a tech place. That's how cold she was with the computer, and it left this world way too early, man. She could rap. Her mind, you know, she was a deep thinker, and young, you know, this was at a young age. And as I said, she would have had a platform. She would have been huge. She would have had many subscribers and people supporting her. I guarantee it. You know, so may she rest in peace and in power. She really, her soul lives on through me. Whenever I speak, L'Oreal Lyrical right here with me. Will be forever missed, real talk. Because I remember when I moved to the Milltown, we were so excited to get together, and I'm glad we collab. You know, we really didn't, we hung out a lot, but when I started working, I didn't hang out as much, but I'm glad that we did have the time that we had. We did get to hang out, and me, her mom, and we did used to do stuff. I got video footage and pictures, and so we did spend some time. So just cherish the moments, you know, with our young sisters that we, you know, and family in general. But I'm, you know, kind of speaking on I'm speaking on my cousin, but just cherish the moments we spend with our loved ones, you know, and keep them in our memory bank, you know. Yep. So the next song is Phenomenal Chick, and she's L'Oreal Lyrical is the first verse. The second one is Sam K. And again, salute to Black Lab, which who produced a lot of music, but probably all her music for L'Oreal Lyrical. And his next song is Phenomenal Chick. Again, L'Oreal Lyrical, first verse, second verse, Sam K. And the hook is Angela Jackson, aka Shiree. And you'll hear her say that in the song. And you hear her say Black Lab. And if I'm not mistaken, I do think Sam K, I'm going to have to look her up. Still haven't looked her up. I got to see if she's doing anything current, because she was dope, and they all were. And L'Oreal Lyrical, they blended, they collabed wonderful on this song. But I think she is the producer of Black Lab. I think that's her label, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm going to have to look her up, see if I can see if she's doing anything current. I'm sure she's probably still doing something, because they were all very talented together. All right, here we go. Phenomenal Chick. Rest in peace and in power, cuz, man, and definitely was phenomenal, as her buddies were on this song. So be back after this. Phenomenal Chick.
No free, no free. On some red shit, tryna
Hey, don't compare me to no bad bitch. I ain't shit, better get your mind right if you're trying to stay the night. Niggas got the game fucked, asking about that life. This is about nice cars, big house, stay fly. Gotta have way more than just to progress. Put it down, put the meal hands down. Parked in my phenomenon, way more than the dollar. Say you want a real chick, the shit you gotta deal with. Keep my hands on my hips when I'm talking that shit. Oh, so end up in it. On my door for your chicks, you need the 10 till your kids get off the 10. You ain't hearing this, money make the world go round. I'ma get it, I bet it make it do go time. Like really? The money keep on coming back, and I'ma know it's where it's at.
A fuck a bad bitch, I'm a phenomenal chick. A type of woman with good credit. I make it on ring. I bleed money quick. A phenomenal chick. A bad bitch, I'm a phenomenal chick. A type of woman with good credit. I make it on ring. I bleed money quick. A phenomenal chick. Phenomenal chick. Hook saying nothing, gotta spell a whole shit in every room that I enter straight. Conquer that bitch, sometimes my words be so twisted. Corresponding Rosetta Stone off a ball just to understand it, and even still a little much for your comprehension. Why you worry about that bullshit? That's KB on cash. Money talk so much on my tongue, it's like thrash on my 9 to 5 be clocking straight, busting my ass, but I bust move if I have to. I'm 1 or 2 packs, but I ain't gotta do that. It's benefits I'm cooling. Focus on this music for a 1K booming, even back plus some schooling, get my resume booming, building an empire while I orchestrate this music. One day I'm a headline, a worldwide tour till shine time, grind time, gotta secure my future. Bitch, I'm a phenomenal chick. A type of woman with good credit. I make it on ring. I bleed money quick. A phenomenal chick. Bad bitch, I'm a phenomenal chick. A type of woman with good credit. I make it on ring. I bleed money quick. A phenomenal chick.
Ain't got my money, I'm not struggling. It's the hustle in me, grinding. Yeah, I be doing my thing. I don't give a fuck what you others do. Keep my mind on my next move. Later, baby, I can't love you. Keep money like an addict, cause I gotta have it. Wanna throw it in the backseat. I stay stacking and stacking.
Real talk. I love when L'Oreal Lyrical say, talking that shit with my hands on my hips. Man, I'm telling you, man, she is so messed. I'm telling you, she was dope. Talking that shit with my hands on my hip. Man, see, that's that femininity right there. Hands on my hips. Man, I'm telling you. I love, a sister that can not be masculine, but, firm, but feminine. When a sister can balance that, they definitely know themselves, because nobody wants, no real man with integrity. We don't want no masculine woman. Who wants a woman to act like a man? Really? No, we want that femininity, because especially for a black man, it's challenging out here in this world. We want to come home to something soft and nice and feminine, it's wonderful, because we deal with a tough, sometimes hard world, challenging world, depending on where we are, what part of the world we're in, and what we're experiencing. But that's what a real brother wants to come home to, a feminine goddess that's unbreakable and knows their inner beauty and know that it can last a lifetime. And that, in my opinion, I'm telling you, also can make relationships and marriages last a lifetime when both know themselves, the brother and the sister, So, but one has to be willing to go deep within, underneath things that may hide in our subconscious, because they do hide. Been there, done that. We learn this if we're receptive and we got our pineal gland open to receive the righteous things of life. Got to get back to the mojo. And I want to, again, speak on this sister that's no longer with us. That was a very vital tool to culture and or humanity. And here we go. Brothers and sisters, leaders and teachers with a student spirit. Let's get into it. Let's speak on Viola Fletcher. I spoke on her before. And rest in peace and in power to Viola Fletcher, the oldest survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre. My son and I talked about this too, Lord Lamont. We spoke on this. And I think it was on the Our Brain is the Ultimate Computer. It was on that podcast. So I'll put that in the end screen, and I don't know, I'll think of something else to put in the end screen. All right, let's go. Rest in peace and in power, Viola Fletcher, the oldest survivor of the Tulsa Race Massacre. Remember, this is from Black Wall Street. She carried memories this country never wanted to face. Tulsa was the first time in world history airplanes were used to bomb human beings. Wow. And the United States did it to Black Americans. And just like everyone from Greenwood, she was never given restorative justice, never given refuge, and never given repair. And Tulsa wasn't the only one. Between 1916 and 1924, including Red Summer, over 30 Black towns and districts were burned, terrorized, and destroyed. Entire communities wiped out with no justice and no accountability. Viola Fletcher lived a life this country tried to erase. So salute to Viola Fletcher. Like I said, inner beauty can last a lifetime. And she transitioned at the age of 111, and that's dope. And as I said, 111, or the number 11 itself, is a godly number. And I'm telling you, God had her, called her home at that age for a reason. That's not a coincidence. And just look how long she was on this planet. See, that's why I say, you can try to destroy the body, which those cities they destroyed, but you can't destroy a righteous spirit. There's nothing you can do to a spirit, because again, as I love to say, great divine and Mama Nature holds the true power all day long, So rest in peace and in power to Viola Fletcher. And she's an example of how inner beauty can last a lifetime, literally. And again, I got a photo of her and she just smiling. And I love that smile because it's a shrewd smile. You know what I mean? Those who are aware and on point as brother and sister see a photo of her, a recent one, you will know what I'm talking about. And it's not a fake selfie smile. No, it's a shrewd smile. It's an intelligent, intellectual smile. I love her photo. And that inner beauty just magnifies off that photo, So, man, I salute to her and her family. Because I'm sure she had to have had warriors around her to preserve her, for her to live this long. Because look where she came from. And sisters be out here fucking complaining. Are you kidding me? Look what this woman went through. And all the Black people of that era. And that happened to. I get pissed when I talk about Black Wall Street. I do. I get pissed off. Because, we try to have our own. And they want to come in and fucking tear up and destroy shit. It's ridiculous. It don't make no sense. So, but again, rest in peace and in power to Viola Fletcher and all those brothers and sisters that were in that massacre in all those cities and shit. I mean, it don't make no damn sense. Yeah, but didn't do nothing because we learned from it. And now we're more powerful than we ever were. Those who are righteous and in their right mind. Because we got the toxic individuals too, unfortunately. But be thankful for our unbreakable goddesses out here. Like the sister I got this picture from on my banner, And man, I looked at her picture. I was like, whoa, she looked intense. And I read her message. Man, she wasn't playing. And it did say in her description that she was against Christianity and how it was fake and false. Ooh, I friended her right away. Because, but everybody has to come to that truth, So, but that's a whole nother podcast. But again, rest in peace and in power, Viola Fletcher. Her spirit lives on through us. And again, all the brothers and sisters that families were destroyed in that massacre. But we are here today. Remember, there's no regrets. There's lessons, And because of her warrior spirit, again, that's why we got a lot of unbreakable goddesses out here. We in the righteous circles. we know who they are. And some of the wealthiest, the sisters back in that time in Black Wall Street. And I was listening to a guy that was speaking on it. He said there were 7 billionaires that were more powerful and richer than anyone today. And that was back then. So I've done a little searching and a little fact checking on some things, And if I'm not right on something, I'm not right on something. It's okay. It's all right. We go back and see what it was and correct it. Get back on board. That's what a brother and sister of integrity do. But we're speaking on sisters right now. Salute to my righteous warrior sisters out there. And I've connected with many online and in real life too, So we got to stay connected to that reality. That's what keep us grounded. Yep. And wealth comes from deep within, because a lot of the brothers and sisters that were wealthy back then, but the brothers were wealthy too, but I'm speaking on the sisters. They were wealthy and respected. You know what I'm saying? That's dope, man. And that's how Wall Street was able to build and become what it was, because sisters and brothers apparently weren't against each other. And that's amazing. Like I said, I did a little reading, and from what I read, the sisters were more wealthier than the white men. Just think about that. They wasn't having that. So they let you know why the rest of that happened. So, and then that's dope. And that spirit carries on to today, just some sisters not picking up on it, And of course, the weakest that be have put a lot of distractions along our path, along this journey, also. So, but we know how that go. But as we should know, wealth comes from within. So, as I said, my son, Lord Lamont, I was telling him, we never know what's coming down the road. So we may come into some money. We never know, but we have to be in that right state of mind to deal with wealth, So because they has really effed up people's minds, weak as that be. And a lot of, some people, like black people, I have to say black people, we get some money. We get $1,000 and think we rich. We got to get out of that mindset. Even if we do come into a whole bunch of money, we do get close to being wealthy. Still have to be disciplined, because as quick as we get that money, quick as it can be gone. It's all about the mindset, So, because I made a podcast. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that in the end screen. I did a podcast about I say it's an energy thing, not a money thing. I'm gonna put that in the end screen. I actually got a response to that. Somebody commented on that. I think a couple people did. So I put that in the end screen. And what else did I say I was gonna put? I can't remember. It was something else. I said I was gonna put in the end screen. I cannot remember. But the energy thing, not a money thing. I'm gonna definitely put that in the end screen. But yeah, wealth comes from deep within. A rich heart makes for a rich life all day long. And many of us are experiencing this now. A rich life where one is just free in their mind and not thinking about bills. And even if we do have a job or bills, none of that stuff, that don't mean our mind have to be there. Poverty thinking, folks. We got to get out of that poverty thinking. That's because you can have money and still have poverty thinking, So get out of that poverty mindset and know we rich at heart, and get the righteous. Great divine gives us the needs, and the righteous ones will come. I'm telling you, sisters, we will flow through this life. Just be our natural self. It's a must, please. Begging you, my sisters. Yeah, because again, what I got on my banner here is what's in a lot of sisters. That youthful, powerful, firm look. Again, look at her face. See how tense and see how intense her face is. She knows herself. She knows her femininity. She knows who she is on this banner. And this is for all sisters. It's a representation. It's for all sisters, not just small or big. Small, big, light skin, dark skin. It's all about the inner beauty. Because as I said, it lasts a lifetime, my brothers and sisters. But speaking to my sisters right now, So keep working on that inner beauty. Keep studying things to know your inner self. To read books on the inner self. Self beauty, self love. Listen to our elders out here who has preserved themselves. Because you got sisters well up past them 50s and look younger than some of these young sisters out here. Real talk. I said that about Tracy Ellis Ross. Tracy Ellis Ross. Again, it's more than just the physical, but I'm just using her as an example. I can use her as an example. I can use Eve. Now, I know it's sisters like beyond celebs that's beautiful too. I'm just using them as an example. I think Eve is a good example of preserving oneself. Keisha Cole, in my opinion, I think she's another sister that's very well preserved. And, these are sisters that's either close to 50s or past their 50s. And Tracy Ellis Ross, I mean, you don't get no more natural than that. She ain't got a bunch of makeup on, and she wears her hair in an afro. And I'm telling you, you can be inspired by things like that, my sister. So it can be done. Like, we throw this can't black don't crack around, but we have to do things, to make sure that black don't crack. So my sisters, you can become an unbreakable goddess because it's in you, All right, let's get to some summaries, and I'm going to lead you divine warriors on to your divine life, brothers and sisters. But again, this is for my sisters, and that's sisters in my family or friends or biological or divine, because I see a goddess in all, you know what I'm saying? But one has to see a goddess within themselves. All right, let's go. Leaders and teachers with a student spirit. First summary: the unbreakable goddess is a modern spiritual and self-empowerment concept that synthesizes the qualities of traditional female deities to describe a state of profound inner strength, resilience, and self-acceptance. That's important. Self-acceptance. Because I told my son, Lord Lamont, I'm getting the selfie in the bathroom. It's getting played out. It really is. I don't care how beautiful it is. That shit's getting played out. As well as other things we see on Instagram and X and Facebook. I'm talking about those who are using their physical beauty to sway men in a toxic way. That shit's got to stop. Just be real. You'd be amazed if our sisters, these Instagram girls and women and whatever, those that's just on there for that, if they would tap into their real, true selves, their inner goddess, their inner beauty, I'm telling you, they would be amazed the right men that they will attract. Because physical beauty is only gonna, if you're manipulating men with your physical beauty, you're only gonna attract lustful men, predators, those who are in a no man's land, have no purpose or balance. That's the kind of men you will attract, And even if you don't meet up with them or nothing, you might meet somebody that's deranged in the brain that, end up at your doorstep. You know what I'm saying? So just got to think about things like that. Can't be willy-nilly just free falling on social media. Danger, danger, danger. All right, so let's keep going. Let me see. A state of profound inner strength, resilience, and self-acceptance is very, very important. Self-love, inner beauty, all that stuff. Unbreakable goddess. All right. The benefits of embodying this archetype are centered on personal transformation and a powerful connection to one's authentic self. Can never go wrong with authentic self. Key benefits of becoming an unbreakable goddess, my sisters. Profound resilience, inner strength. Embracing the unbreakable nature means developing the inner fortitude to face challenges. Not run from them. They ain't gonna go nowhere, no way. Cause the truth never leaves. We can be in denial, act like we don't see it. Truth ain't going no damn where. So people wasting their time, All right, but don't wait too late. Time keeps on pushing into the future. All right. Setbacks. Okay. Developing the inner fortitude to face challenges, setbacks, and brokenness, not as an end, but as a source of power and new ways of being. You gain the capacity to recover from nearly any wound or disruption. We got to deal with them traumas within, point out our weaknesses and turn them into strengths. We got to practice on it, got to stay at it. Do it by oneself. Don't go on. That's another thing too. When we have issues, deal with it offline. Make sure we got our subconscious right. Because when we get on social media or in the world or wherever we go, things tend to come up. So assess and reset oneself. On a daily. Like I said, a divine inventory. See where we're at in life. My sisters. All right. Again, I see a goddess in you. I'm begging you, see it in yourself. Authentic self-expression. This path encourages living a life true to your genuine self, my sisters, free from the obligation to people, you know, trying to manipulate men and what things on the outside think of you. Fuck that shit. Be the guy that you are, you know. Let things gravitate towards you righteously. All right. Expectations. This authenticity leads to a happier and more fulfilling existence, you know. And we don't want to just exist off physical things, and it keeps going. And we want to make positive energy an addiction, you know, seeing the results of loving oneself, my sisters, you know, make that an addiction, but practice at it, because one result and you leave and you're like, oh man, why didn't I do this sooner? I'm telling you. But we have to get to that space to feel that, to feel like that, you know, because many of us, again, some of our greatest generals, our sisters, you know, that are standing today. Trust me, a lot of them, I don't, you know, I've connected with some sisters in person and maybe some online. I haven't never met them personally, but those who are the real sisters that have good balance, I'm sure they have had some type of trauma that they fought through and made it through and clung to their truth to get them to where they are. And that's younger or older. So that's what my younger sisters got to cling to. Our elderly sisters out here that know what it is. Listen to some of these sisters, you know, and young. Got a lot of witty, intelligent sisters out here and on, you know, online and in the world too. Got to connect to, got to have that human contact too. Again, just to keep us in reality, keep us grounded. So those are some things I had in one spirit. I was just feeling inspired. Soon as I saw this photo on my banner here, I was immediately inspired because I love what she's wearing, the crown, and that look on her face. That's what I like, you know, and like that smile I said about VIOLA FLETCHER, how she had that shrewd smile. I love that shit, you know. She knew she was intelligent, knew she was powerful, you know. Never met that lady ever in my life. And it wasn't a computer generated. I'm talking about the picture of VIOLA FLETCHER I got on my phone, and it wasn't computer generated. It was a natural picture of her. And I think it was pretty recent. And she looked pretty preserved. For 111, she looked well preserved. And that let you know that she was tapped in to her inner beauty. Real talk. Because again, inner beauty can last a lifetime, my sisters. So that's just something I want to share. I wanted to share for my sisters. And I have, because I do podcasts. Sometimes I do a podcast just about the brothers. And then I do some where it's just about the sister, you know. And I've done many in the past on here, you know. So I think that great divine, if it dropped creativity in our heart, you know, our brothers and sisters. But again, this was a show or a podcast for my sisters, you know, because again, even those that don't know themselves, may that great divine please come in their life. Sisters all over the world come in their life, because I know how powerful this social media can be in the world, and you know, but I mean, you know, sisters, at some point, one is going to have to tap into their inner beauty, because as I love to say, I say again and again, we all going to get old one day, and everyone can agree on that. But while we're on this journey, enjoy it and be the most powerful part of ourselves. You know, don't waste too much time on this planet, and leave a righteous impact, not a lot of stupid, insignificant things, you know, and it ain't always got to be on the big scale, you know. Just be the best of ourselves while we're here and leave this world better than it was than when we came in it. That's it. Great divine, Mama Nature will do the rest, my sisters. So again, thank those that's been riding along and supporting, and salute to all the generals and the warriors out there, my brothers, but especially my sisters, because that's what this is for. And you know, and I'll keep sending out that positive energy, and keep it going, you know, because that's what we got to do. We got to keep that realm strong, you know, take spirituality serious, you know, because as I said, my sisters, what I have learned, you know, when we step out into this spiritual world and call ourselves spiritual, great divine, Mama Nature is not going to play with us, you know. It's going to see if we about what we about. Whether we aware or not, life will always teach us. That's something I learned too. So whether we want to learn or not, life will teach us. My grandmother said, keep living, buddy. Rest in peace and in power. We'll find out what we put out. But it ain't always got to be negative, you know. Let's put out, you know, positive things, beautiful things on purpose, you know. Positivity is free all day long, you know. A means for creating a better life, my sisters. So preserve yourself, my sisters, so you can be the beautiful queen you are when you're young. You can continue that inner beauty as you get up into our graceful years. You know, you can be beautiful then, actually be even more beautiful, you know. So that's what I want for my sisters, because again, what's on this banner here is what I see in all sisters, you know, but they have to see it within themselves. So as I said, my sisters, man, inner beauty can last a lifetime. So I'm putting that energy out there, and I'm passing it on to brothers and sisters, family in the world, online. Just positive energy I like to pass off to everyone. But again, this is for my sisters, you know, sisters all over the world. Please, I'm begging you, be an unbreakable goddess deep within, because inner beauty can last a lifetime. Salute. This has been brought to you by Mama Nature and that great divine. Salute, my spell breakers.